And I'm absolutely delighted to see an old friend here today who is Daniel Rybakken from Oslo originally. And now?
This studio is in Gothenburg in Sweden.
Oh, yes. Ah, right. Yes, of course. You moved.
Well, soon it's been half my life.
What's that?
Yeah, some 20 years or something.
So you can never go back. They'll never have you back.
So, yeah, winner by default now. So I'm stuck. Children and school and it's hard.
A short biography here, and you can tell me if it's right or wrong, Daniel. So, as I say, a native of Norway, Daniel
Correct.
studied design at the Oslo School of Architecture and also graduated from the School of Arts and Crafts in Gothenburg, Sweden. After completing his Master of Fine Arts in 2008, he opened his own design studios in Oslo and Gothenburg and has gone on to win a slew of accolades, including a number of, so more than one, plural, Compassadoro awards, correct?
Yeah.
For his innovative lighting designs. A particular focus of Daniel's is natural light and its subconscious effect on us. And Daniel has, over the years, broadened his scope successfully to include furniture design. So you grew up in Oslo, where the way that light shifts across the seasons is very perceptible. How did those long Nordic winters shape your relationship with light? I'm thinking about those long extended summer days as well.
Yeah. Well, this long summer night, you have extremely long days during the summer, which is fantastic. But the contrast is so huge to the winter, where you go to work in the morning and it's dark outside, and when you go home again, at 4 o'clock, it's pitch black. But then you have, if the snow comes, that changes everything. And if it's a full moon, you notice different light situations. And I think in general, in Scandinavian homes, there's much more focus on light than Italians, I would say. Try to create cozy atmospheres. That's kind of the important thing.
Yeah. Appreciation for the comforting nature of light. I guess because its absence is so palpable during the winter months.
Yeah, but that also makes it so great when it comes back, and you can see kind of the whole society becoming euphoric. And now when the days are longer and everyone is going around like, I can't believe it's still, bright outside. And it's, 5:30 in the evening.
Yeah. And when did you become aware of the fact that light was something that you could shape, that you could design?
Well, I think actually it's in the slides. Maybe I can just skip forward to this room. Because this is a room in my mother's house in Oslo that stood empty. It was supposed to be renovated. Since it stood empty, it was so apparent what happened when the light shifts. So this is during the day, and then at 4 o'clock it's like this, and the transformation is so great. And you realize that we can't just illuminate rooms with the traditional sphere in the ceiling. What happens here is that it goes from being you feel that you're part of something that is greater than the four walls of the room. The contrast between indoor outdoor are low, and you feel you get information of what's outside. And then you switch to this, and then suddenly the perception of space shrinks down to the four walls. You feel alone and you feel enclosed. So that was the seed that was planted then, was that there was already back then a lot of talk about seasonal affective disorder and the technical side of it. How much light you get into the retina.
In terms of your emotional response to those two, let's call them modes, this second one was negative.
Yeah.
Right. But was not happy.
Yeah, but just seeing that they're both light, and going back to this was actually artificial as well. With the right color temperature, fluorescent light tubes. So there's just two ways of illuminating a space. So that's where it started.
So that was this early kind of realization, this early seed, and then this became, correct me if I'm wrong, Daniel, this became then a concern. I was going to say obsession, but maybe that's too much. A real kind of interest for you over many years the idea of how to replicate a perception, the experience of daylight through artificial light, right?
But do it in a way where you're not trying to trick people. So consciously, you say that this is, a lamp. On many of them, it was important for me to have cable running down. But even though you consciously understood it to be artificial, subconsciously, you were affected positive.
That's really interesting. So you, at the same time, you wanted to show the apparatus, the fact that it was artifice. Why? Because then you'd somehow be tricking or cheating, or
I didn't want it to be like a fake movie scene kind of thing. Right. I have some examples in the slides.
Should we take a look?
Yeah, we can skip forward. Yeah, I'm just jumping forward here. It's not very quick. Well, it's coming. These are my early work with daylight, trying to recreate both the diffuse daylight, but also the direct sunlight coming in. Like here in the building in Stockholm, where I got the commission to design this entrance. And I could place an illusion of these light patches.
Right. That's completely artificial. But
and back then, people say it couldn't be done with LEDs, but it's 4,500 LEDs.
Just in that one panel.
This is 16 years ago. In total of 4 or 5 panels. And then placed behind this semi-translucent material. And then going from this to that. So this photo is taken at midnight in December in 2010. Everything you see there is artificial light.
That's beautiful and fascinating. Is there any? How can you? Are you able to measure what the response is in people, in bodies, to perceiving this type of light compared to real natural daylight?
Well, the short answer is no. It's not that important to me. Like, you could go and write a PhD about. You see people that recover more quickly if they have a window in their hospital room or have natural light coming in, and you can see productivity increase. But that's kind of for the marketing department. It's not that important to me to measure things. But I think I have a project here. Yes, this one. It started with doing all of this work when I tried to recreate sunlight. You needed a lot of energy to do it. But I realized that in my bedroom, even though like in the summer with the curtains pulled down, it's dimmed down, but I still have the perception of this positive light coming into the room.
So it's sort of it's indirect, I guess, at that point.
Yeah. And so you could say that you could do this indirectly and with a lower output, but still have the positive effect. And the interesting thing with this was that when this was presented in a place called Spazio Rossano Orlandi in Milano.
She's the queen of Milan, by the way.
Yeah.
If you don't know, Rossano Orlandi in
and here is like
Milan.
It's placed around that corner. And everyone in the room knew that this was artificial. I was talking about it. It looks like a curtain, but it's a piece of aluminium with this array of light around it. And this was in a basement with no windows. And the effect of pulling the cable and everyone becoming claustrophobic and trying to find the exit. So So I didn't measure it, but it was very evident to see the effect of it. That even though you subconsciously,
even though you know it's not real, right?
It affects you.
That's absolutely fascinating. You would think that this type of artificial lighting effect would be implemented more across spaces, particularly kind of smaller ones or subterranean ones, just in terms of how the effect it has on us and our mental well-being.
Well, it's interesting because it started kind of as a critique to the lighting industry, like as actually being a very conservative industry. You could do we do decorative lighting, but it's just kind of a sculpture and you're putting the light inside of it. You're not really designing the light. And with this, we're not really designing the armature, we're designing light.
Right.
the silver lining to this is that now, 20 years later, it's becoming a real product with the Spanish company Vibia.
With Vibia.
Yeah.
Right. Super. Do you want to show us some more work, maybe? So, I mean, you do also design lighting that is, I suppose, would be described as decorative lighting that has a very clear presence in terms of the product form, where it's not just about the effect, the lighting effect, right?
Well, I wonder if this loops and goes back to the beginning, because now there's even more daylight.
Oh, right.
There's some. These are some new of the products with Vibia. Some of the.
Oh, that's beautiful. This is more recent, right?
Yeah, this was in Milan last year.
Yeah.
Where we have this again,
Gorgeous.
almost like a windowsill. You have the curtain, the apps. Yeah, because you're abstracting reality. Also, the curtain is then back, but in a much more advanced way. You could control the light, but it's individually controlling the pixels. So you could have slight movements of a tree blowing in the wind or a cloud coming, dimming up and down. I think it goes to the bit. Yeah. Again, me eating chocolate in my studio. And kind of an overview of some of my more traditional objects.
Right.
So in the center there's the counterbalance light for Luchaplan, more some industrial design, some perfume bottles, some mirrors, and then the wood objects.
And this is when you started to move into furniture.
Yeah, with
Fantastic.
Artec and with hay, and we're doing much more furniture now.
Right, you're a real
but it's still kind of
Renaissance man, a Renaissance designer.
Most of what I do is self-initiated concepts. So I kind of work maybe differently than most other designers that mainly works on briefs. And say with Luchaplan, we've stopped doing brief altogether because we realized that the ideas that I bring forward end up being the good ones.
Fantastic. You work on. I mean, this is it's a brave way to work. You develop your own concepts and then try and find a home for them.
Yeah. Well, I think for me it's about being real, and that's the way I can be honest.
I mean, designing things that you like yourself is.
Well, if you're designing a cash point, then of course you need to think about other people other than yourself that has different needs. But within the field that I'm working, I have the privilege of designing things just for me.
When you close your eyes and think of your happy place, what does it feel like in terms of how it's lit?
Can I go back to my studio again? Now, I think I really like natural light. That might come as a surprise, but I think natural light indoors is not the same as natural light outdoors, and I think that's a problem sometimes when you have you're building a new building and this should feel like you're outside. No, you know that you're inside, and inside the light doesn't come. Natural light doesn't come from the ceiling. Right. There's very few rooms that have ceiling lights, or if you're in a greenhouse. Look at this photo. The light comes from the side. So it's not only the quality of it. It's not only how you're diffusing the light, but it's the direction of the light that is important.
Daniel, thanks so much for sharing your insights and bringing a bit of light into our lives today. Give a round of applause to Daniel Rybakken.
Yeah, thank you.